So apparently Jeffrey Epstein lives rent-free in Trump's head. Just a few days ago, just last week, we were just talking about the Jeffrey Epstein files, where we had the FBI that just confirmed that there was no such thing as a client list after all. Plus, on top of that, they also ruled Jeffrey Epstein's death as a suicide. With this whole thing going out and about and developing as we speak, there's a lot of finger pointing as to like, well, who's responsible, who's really guilty. Then we have the president of the United States that is just going on a full-blown rant. Long story short, get over it. Let's just move on. The client list doesn't exist. In fact, it was just made up. Let's just move on already. Strap yourself in, because this is about to be a bumpy ride. So what we have here is a Truth Social post that was made by Donald Trump. He frequents this website. His media company owns Truth Social. It's under his name. So, of course, he's going to spew whatever he wants to spew on this particular platform that he owns. It's a long one. I'm not going to read the whole thing because he just goes on conspiracy after conspiracy to the point it just gets irrelevant with the current situation at hand. Like somehow he just connected John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King into this, and he brings up the laptop from hell, which I believe is a Hunter Biden reference. But anyways, moving forward, he goes on to say, what's going on with my boys, and in some cases gals. I don't know why he quotes the boys and gals. I don't know why he did that. But anyways, they're all going after the Attorney General Pam Bondi, I think it's Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and selfish people are trying to hurt it. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein, over and over again. Then we move on to the last section of this post where he's basically defending the Attorney General Pam Bondi, where he would say, let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that no one cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, let's be completely clear about this. I don't really care about Jeffrey Epstein. Honestly, I don't. Jeffrey Epstein is a dead man. There's really not much that you can take from a dead man to begin with. But what I do care about is the victims. What I do care about is people being held accountable. I do care about the Epstein files, the same files that may expose those same people that are inflicting harm to others, including children. So yeah, if Trump is right about one thing, I really don't care about Jeffrey Epstein. I agree with him there. But I do want people to be held accountable. And as of right now, there are powerful people in this world that are actively getting away with the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation. Now, let's be clear. Trump isn't upset about Epstein's victims, or he's mad about the fact that the prison kind of screwed up on their suicide watch over Jeffrey Epstein. He's mad about the fact that people are still talking about this, and he can't help but talk about it because what we are witnessing here is a complete horrendous cover-up. And he wants to go on to say no one cares about Jeffrey Epstein. Let's just move on. But then you just saw he goes on to make like a 500-word post about Jeffrey Epstein, and he's trying to throw a whole bunch of conspiracy theories at you in hopes that one conspiracy theory would stick with you, and it's like giving a kid like a new toy. It's like, hey, forget this toy. Look at all these toys that I'm giving you. Play with those instead. And if you like one of those toys, you're going to end up playing with that toy and forgetting about the other one. This is literally what's going on right now. I kind of skimmed past this only because it was just something that was presented to us by the FBI. But the FBI did show us a 10-hour footage. You can actually look it up. It's in their documents. They have like a link that you can visit and you could watch the 10-hour video if you have that time in your hands. But now it's being reported that there is a possibility that that 10-hour footage of the cell of Jeffrey Epstein may have been altered. Like, for instance, there was a timestamp in the video that was missing. 11:58 was where the video ended, and then suddenly the same cam footage skips to 12 o'clock midnight. So there's like 2 minutes of time that's just missing. So despite analysts looking at these things and saying, hey, these things are kind of, edited or altered, you can't just give us something like this and use that as evidence to say, look, there was no wrongdoing here. The Department of Justice is still going to double down, and they're going to say that, yeah, there's nothing wrong here. You don't see anyone going in and out of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. There was no unusual activity of sort. He died of a suicide, and that's about it. Like, it's absolutely insane that we have a 10-hour footage of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. And you have analysts, once again, that are saying, yeah, this is kind of sketchy. But despite the call out, instead of just saying, you know what, all right, we'll give y'all the raw footage. Instead, they want to double down, and now we're listening to Trump talking about John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King in a topic about Jeffrey Epstein. And you know what's crazy about all of this? Though, can I be really honest with y'all? I genuinely feel that Jeffrey Epstein is not even, like, the main event. Like, he's not. He's just a doorman. Like, again, this man allegedly ran an entire sex trafficking thing. And he was basically more of a middleman than anything else. He was a middleman that was protected by people who were way more protected and had way more resources, and they were also way more powerful. And the second he becomes like a slight inconvenience, he's gone. Dead. Like, that's really it. And he's in his cell. And now he's dead. And people are ruling it, or the FBI is confirming it to be a suicide. Like, things like this just doesn't make sense here. And every time, like, new info drops of sort, it's always too little too late, it's incomplete, it's too staged, there's something more to this. But regardless of all that, it's always the people at the top that just get away with it. Like, we don't see one person of influence or power that is in the courtrooms. Like, they do not see the courtrooms at all. Like, you'll get maybe 1 or 2 sacrificial lambs. Like, hey, like Ghislaine Maxwell, she's a sacrificial lamb. She is currently in prison as we speak. You'll get a Maxwell here and an Epstein there. But as far as any other celebrity or any other person of power and influence, none of them see the courtrooms. None of them will see iron bars in front of them. And that's the part that gets me. And a part of me always wants to root for the underdog. Like, I'm an underdog kind of dude. Like, I love to see someone being held accountable. Someone of power, immense power and authority being held accountable for their crimes. I think you and I can agree that we would love to see that. Because at least it kind of tells us that, hey, somewhere out there, there is some justice out there. There are some people out there that are willing to look at a situation and say, this is not right. This is not normal. Something has to be done. But when you look at the reality of things, and I don't want to be pessimistic or skeptical, call me whatever, what's really getting me is that these things, it's not conspiracies. It's not about the what if the client list was a real thing, or what if, Jeffrey actually did have a bunch of, goons that was helping him out. No, it's the fact that even if these things existed, people will still get away with it. Like, I'm being serious. Like, nothing would happen. And this is what gets under our skin every single time. Because then when you have people of influence, of power, of authority that are living a completely different reality compared to people like you and I, to them, law is only an option, and you have consequences that are really just vibes at the end of the day. So it's no longer the matter of if Jeffrey Epstein actually killed himself or if it was murder. It's about how we already know how this is going to end. And we're not going to like how this is going to end. And we are seeing this in front of us, like, developing in real time. And we are upset. And I think I mentioned this in my previous video, and if I haven't, I'm gonna say it here. It's not a left or right thing. It's not a blue or a red or a left or a right or a liberal or conservative or a Democrat or Republican. I don't care what anyone tells you. There are powerful people involved that have implemented this operation that is inflicting harm to individuals, and especially when those individuals are minors. There is something wrong here. Someone has to be held accountable. We can't just say, oh, the client list doesn't exist, this person killed themselves, so let's just wrap it up, case closed, it is what it is. Like, there are victims out here that exist, and now their voices are just being muffled under like a pillow. Like, they're being snuffed out. All because these two things are somehow debunked. Like, and I know oftentimes we'll hear this cliche, soundbite that, oh, the system is broken, the system is broken. And, I would agree with you. I would completely agree with you and say the system is broken. But then at the same time, we can also argue that the system is actually working as it's supposed to. It's working as intended. It's protecting people that have power, they have resources, they have the fortune, and they have some sort of influence where they could just bend the rules to their favor. And that really sucks. But I just wanted to talk about it. I didn't want to talk about the Jeffrey Epstein file situation, but that was the only thing that I saw on my social feed, and it was only developing and it was only getting worse because it was actually people out there that are actually doubling down on this, and they're saying that, oh, like, let's just move on. Yet, these are the same people that, in their campaigns, they were advocating for these files to be released. And now, we are hearing the same people that were once so obsessed about, and hyperfixated, in fact, about the release of these files are now saying, yeah, let's just move on. This shouldn't even be the focus. Like, America could be living in a futuristic society where we would have flying cars next year, but no, instead we're all obsessed with Jeffrey Epstein and his client list. Like, it's so pathetic. But until then, y'all, stay safe out there. Stop reading those Twitter rants like how I just did, and focus that energy on surviving the rest of the year. I'll see y'all later. Take care. Peace.